Holding your household together begins with having the mindset of being family oriented. And once you get married, your wife should hold you accountable to certain things the same way you hold her accountable to certain things.
I think mostly about purpose when the word duty comes up. What's the reason God created me to be here on earth? Yo, Coco, I mean, you've got solid game, right? And we know that game actually comes from having solid values. Today, 2026, right now, what would you say if you go back 10 years ago will be a value you wish you had learned back all the way back then?
I would say firmness, without a doubt.
Why is that?
Mainly because one of my biggest struggles with women and with people in general was being firm with my personal boundaries and non-negotiables. Many years ago, I struggled with nice guy syndrome. Yes, I did. I'm guilty. And don't get me wrong, I'm still a nice guy, but that's if a person doesn't violate my boundaries, of course.
Facts. I'd say for me, it's discipline, because I had all the motivation in the world. I didn't have a problem with that. I get fired up. I'll start strong. But then after a couple of weeks, I'll quit. It wasn't really lasting.
See, this is exactly why we're making this episode. Last time we gave you 10 masculine values, and today we're gonna give you another set of 10.
Because one episode wasn't enough, so we felt like we definitely had to do some more.
What's going on? I'm Coco and I'm from Ghana.
And I'm Chris and I'm from Nigeria.
And between both of us, we've got over 20 years of real world experience in the dating game.
Not from textbooks and not from TikTok, but from actually being out here taking those L's and learning the hard way.
And today we're giving you 10 more healthy masculine values that you should be embodying as a man. If you missed part 1, the link is in the description, but you can go ahead and watch this episode right now.
This episode is for the man who watched part 1 and thought, you know what, I need more because one episode just wasn't enough.
So without any further delay, let's jump straight into it. Great, so value number 1, having an abundance mindset. Now, what is an abundance mindset? And it's not about having a lot of stuff. It's actually a state of mind. Let me explain. Now, having an abundant mindset is about believing there's more opportunity out there. It's about believing that even though you got your heart broken, torn, ripped from your chest, you can still love someone else, meaning you're abundant in love. It's about being able to share your excitement and your happiness. You generate that energy from within and spread it out. Let me give you an example. You know how when someone has a hysterical laugh, like a real laugh, it gets everyone else around them laughing too. You know what I'm talking about, right? Exactly. That's abundance. They're not holding back and they're giving their energy freely, and it spreads.
So this scarcity mindset would definitely be the opposite, right?
Exactly what it is. Scarcity is thinking there's not enough to go around. Not enough women, not enough opportunities, and not enough success. But as a man, you have to adopt an abundance mindset in all aspects of your life. And here's why we believe this. If you operate from a place of scarcity, you'll make desperate decisions, you'll settle for less, and you'll cling to scraps. But if you operate from a place of abundance, you'll make confident decisions and you won't chase people and opportunities. Instead, you'll begin to attract them.
Value number 2, sacrifice. And I don't want this to just pass by you easily. I want you to actually listen up for this one. In order to achieve anything in your life, you need this value.
Why is it so critical for the audience to have this value?
Great question, man. There's a scripture in the Bible. It's Galatians 6:7, and it says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall also reap." Basically, what the scripture is saying is that what you put into the universe is exactly what you're going to get out. Garbage in, garbage out. So long as you're here on earth, sacrifice is the only way you're going to achieve anything that you want. If you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. I know you hear me say this all the time. If you want a great relationship, you're going to have to sacrifice your ego sometimes. If you want a strong body, you're going to have to sacrifice comfort in the gym. And the problem today is that too many people are looking to get something out of nothing. They don't want to do anything, but they want the results. That's how you build a criminal mindset if you don't know. That's how you build a nefarious mindset. And we don't want that for you at all. Today, you have guys who want to be rich but do not want to work hard. You have women who want a provider but they don't even know how to be a wife. They don't know what it means to follow a man's leadership. They don't even know how to spot a true leader when they meet one.
Sad.
I know,
so
right?
sad. Anyways, so what's the lesson in here?
The lesson here is that sacrifice is putting in the work, period. What you sow is exactly what you reap. There's no shortcuts to any of this, my guy.
Great. Value number 3, fairness. And before you think being fair is soft, hold on, right? Take this in for a minute. Now, a lot of people today, men and women included, think that when they're in a position of power, they have the right to act anyway with impunity. And that's a big problem, because not being fair is actually a very selfish mindset to have. And personally, I think having an overly selfish mindset is effeminate.
Wait, you think selfishness is effeminate?
Yes, I do. I think being overly selfish is effeminate. And the reason I say that is because you see how most people say women are very self-absorbed? It's because they think of themselves first. Not all of them, but most of them have this trait. Men in God's design were created with this aspect where we feel like we need to serve. So if you're a man watching this and you don't have that innate desire to serve, to share the spoils of your success, and to make fair decisions that benefit those who matter to you, then you, my brother, don't have a healthy masculine mindset. That kind of behavior is borderline tyrannical, and nobody respects a tyrant in the long run. So if you want to express your masculinity in a healthier way, try to be fairer in your dealings with people. Look at things objectively. Look at things based on merit. If they did this, they get this. If they did that, they get that. And you do this in business, in relationships, and in every other aspect of your life. Fairness is a masculine trait because it requires you to put logic over emotion and service over selfishness.
Value number 4, it's discipline. You see, nobody likes this one, and I can understand why.
Why?
Because everybody likes motivation. I mean, you want to feel fired up before you make a decision, before you take action. You want to feel like doing something before you do it. You know, Mel Robbins actually wrote a book where she said most of the decisions that we make are emotional. That actually made me, stop for a second, right? She pushed it as far as 90-something% of the decisions that we make today are based off of emotions, right? So you go to the gym because you feel like it. You go to your friend's party because you feel like it. You don't go to work because you don't feel like it. But here's the problem. You're not always going to have the motivation to do things. And that's where discipline comes in. And discipline takes you way further than motivation ever will. I mean, way further. Look, motivation is beautiful. And I mean, I love it. I love being fired up. But trust me, 70% or maybe even 80% of the time, you're not going to feel motivated. So what do you do in those times? Discipline, baby. With discipline, you're able to create the right habits that last you for as long as possible. I think in the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, he said it takes about 21 days to form a habit. And for it to become completely automatic, it takes about 90 days. But you need discipline to be able to get through those first 21 days.
Exactly. If you ask anyone, they'll let you know discipline does not come easy. Chris, does discipline come easy?
Absolutely not. You're going to have to do things not because you feel like doing them, but because you need to do them. I've never in my life seen anyone hit their goals consistently without discipline. Because without discipline, you won't even have consistency. And without consistency, you're not going to achieve anything. Point blank, period.
Awesome. Now we're getting to value number 5, the love for family.
Beautiful, man. I love it.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but in this modern society, there's clearly an attack on the nuclear family unit. There's been propaganda trying to pull all the units of the family in different directions over the last few decades. You've got the movements trying to get the kids. You've got feminism trying to pull the women from the men. You've got the red pill manosphere, which by the way, we are not a part of, just to clarify, pulling men into the deep, dark abyss of misplaced hurt, anger, and aggression. These spaces basically preach women are bad, women did this, women did that, women are right? Just basically a bunch of whiny men. And from what we see now, the red pill manosphere is essentially the male version of the feminist movement.
How so?
Because they are both anti-marriage. And personally, I believe in marriage. I believe in holding the family unit together. And if you don't believe in that, I think that you are lacking in some aspect of your masculinity, at least from my perspective. And I say this because I strongly believe God ingrained it in men to want to leave a legacy. So if you're gonna leave a legacy, you better do it the right way. Some time back, Chris and I were discussing a video he saw about Joe Biden and his family. And from the stuff that was being said in that video, we could immediately tell that the man was a poor leader in his house.
That's facts.
Exactly. So here's my conclusion on this. As a masculine man or an aspiring masculine man, if you do not value your family and embody the value of sacrifice, you may end up with a broken family. That's just what it is. Holding your household together begins with having the mindset of being family oriented. And once you get married, your wife should hold you accountable to certain things the same way you hold her accountable to certain things. In the Bible, it says the two become one, not they live in the same house. The two become one. That means you take decisions together and you both have to die to self every single day. But you as the man have to have that mindset from the beginning so you can attract a woman who has a similar mindset.
All right, before we continue, if you're getting any value from this video, hit the like button and drop us a comment below telling us which value you need to work on the most. Also, share it with someone you know will get value from it as well. Don't hoard it to yourself and don't be greedy with it. It's your duty to share this, and remember the word duty. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Also, if you want to support the work that we do here, you can buy us a cup of coffee and the link will be in the description. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. All right, let's keep going. Value number 6 is duty. When you think about the word duty, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it responsibility or is it purpose? I think mostly about purpose when the word duty comes up. What's the reason God created me to be here on earth? Number 1, to worship him. Number 2, to serve him. And number 3, to love him. And then I transfer that same love I have for him to my neighbor, right?
And who's your neighbor? Me and his family. And the people that he cares about, right?
My family and everyone I come in contact with, everyone I care about, just like Coco said. I believe that I have a duty not only to God and not only to myself, but to my community as a whole and to my family.
So what does that mean practically?
Whether you're married or whether you're single, ask yourself the following questions. Do I have a job? If yes, then you have a duty to your company. Not performing that duty means you can't provide for yourself or your family. Another question. Do you attend the church? If so, then you have a duty to your church. Basically, you have a duty to everyone you come in contact with, whether spoken or unspoken. And in truth, you're not just here for yourself. And here's what's actually interesting. Even while you're trying to better yourself by getting values, principles, skills, and money, in effect, you're being beneficial to other people. So when you're thinking about your duty, you're thinking about service. Service to your God, service to yourself, and service to the people around you. And this is what you do every day. There's actually no days off when it comes to duty. This is what you're doing every single day. This is the kind of person that you are. This is your purpose, and you hammer at it consistently every single day.
Sweet. Now let me add one more thing here. Now when God created the first man, before he created the first woman, he gave the man work. And what's work? Duty. So you see, we're supposed to be doing something on the planet. We're supposed to be busy and not just being idle. So be dutiful. Now, value number 7, resilience. Now, as a man, I don't know if you watch any medieval shows, but
here we go with those shows, man. That's his thing for sure.
In the last 2 years, right, I've been watching Last Kingdom, Vikings for the second time, right? Marco Polo. And currently I'm watching Spartacus, which I never watched before when it first came out. And I'm glad I didn't. I wouldn't have been able to deep the many lessons in the series back then when I was less mature. And one thing I noticed about the men of those times is that they were super brave warriors and they had a never give up spirit.
Yeah, give us an example on that.
So, for instance, in The Last Kingdom, the main character's name is Uhtred. At the beginning of the show, his brother died, his older brother. Then his father was killed right in front of him as he was a kid. Then he was taken captive by the people who killed his father and raised by them. And then he grew to love them, right? Because obviously he was a kid and he grew up and, the trauma kind of passes. Then another group of Vikings came and killed his entire Viking family.
Damn.
Right?
That's crazy.
So fast forward, he gets married, has a kid, but the kid dies. And the wife that had that kid left him, marries another woman, has 2 beautiful children with them, loves that second wife to death. And one of the last things I remember is that at some point, his son got castrated. Then he was sold into slavery by people he trusted and went through a type of psychological trauma that most men would never probably recover from. The point is, regardless of all the emotional and physical trauma that this guy Uhtred was subjected to, he was still able to firm mind to purpose and do his duties. I stole that line from Spartacus. If you've watched Spartacus, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, he was able to compartmentalize, put everything aside, and focus on what was important. Now that's real resilience. In order to be a truly masculine man, you have to develop the value and character trait of being resilient in your career, in your relationships when conflict arises, and in your friendships when misunderstandings happen. You see, most people in this generation tend to act like they don't care when they really actually do. And it's a resilient trait to go against the odds, to try to fix things when relationships get damaged. So my man, I have a question for you. Do you want to be more masculine and be more resilient in everything that you do? If your answer is yes, then here's one way you can grow in resilience. Hit the gym, carry the weights, do calisthenics, start jogging, take ice baths if you must. The more you can push your body to do, the more resilient you'll become. Then you can apply that resilience to the other aspects of your life.
Value number 8, focus. In today's world, especially in the digital epidemic we're in right now, the attention span of the average human being is like that of a goldfish. 7 seconds. How did it get that bad? Let's blame social media. Let's blame Reels on TikTok and Instagram. Let's blame the constant dopamine hits that we all looking for. But when was the last time that you spent 30 minutes to an hour laser focused on one thing? You're not scrolling, you're not multitasking, you're just spending your time laser focused on one thing. The truth is, most people cannot even do that. And in truth, most people cannot achieve anything in life without having that laser focus. If you do have one thing, let us know. Probably crickets, right? There is no multitasking when it comes to focus. I'm going to use my life as an example. All this information, all this knowledge, and all this wisdom, it all comes from focusing on one thing at a time. When you're reading, you got to stay focused. When you're in the gym, you got to stay focused. When you're writing, when you're having a conversation, even when Coca and I are doing a mastermind on the phone or maybe over Zoom, we're laser focused on one topic at a time, even if it's just for 10 minutes to 15 minutes before we move to another subject. That's how you really get results. You're not going to get results if you're flailing all over the place. So if you have a problem with staying focused, give yourself 15 minutes to focus on one thing at a time. You can take a 5 minutes break afterwards, then back in for another 15 minutes. This is how you extract value from what you're doing. This is how you're going to hit things efficiently over and over again. You want your work to be effective? You want to gain good results? It can only come from staying laser focused. If your mind is scattered, it will show in your results. And one of the most important things about a truly masculine man is that he produces consistent results. It's not up and down, it's steady. And that can only be achieved through laser focus. Period.
Stay focused, baby. Value number 9. And I know the women watching this will be excited to hear about this one.
Of course, they're gonna love this one, man.
Yeah, we know y'all love money. We know. You're gonna tell us different, but we know you love it. It's okay. It's okay. You can love it. It's okay. We won't judge you. Anyway, so the true mark of a man standing on his own 2 feet is that he is financially independent. That means he relies on no one to help him with his financial issues, his day-to-day expenses, or his duties in relation to his family. And here's why this matters. Life is full of problems, and most of these problems can be solved with money, right? Cha-ching. And if you do have the money, you can take care of people who are sick. You can pay school tuition. You can give people opportunities. You can invest in businesses. You can change livelihoods. So as a man, it's part of your duty, like Chris said, on this earth to become as financially independent as possible. In 2020, I read a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And the book said it is our duty as human beings. He didn't say man, he didn't say woman, he wasn't specific. He said as human beings to make as much money as we can in our lifetime. Why? Because God created us to express. And in order for us to express ourselves in this material world, we need money. You want to dress nicely? You need money. You want to make an impact, change orphans' lives? You need money. You want to provide drinking water for a village? You need money to drill the borehole. I don't need to speak much on this anymore. So if you're not financially independent as a man, you are lacking in some aspect of your full masculine potential. And every man watching this knows that when you ain't got it like that, your confidence is easily swayed. Chris and I strongly believe that money does not make the man, but the man does need money for the day-to-day because life is expensive, period. Especially in today's world where the housing market is ridiculous, interest rates are sky high, and salaries aren't increasing. If you don't know what you want to do to make money, figure out what industry you want to be in first. Is it manufacturing, agriculture, oil and gas, education, finance, beauty, entertainment, marketing, film? Choose your industry and make sure the industry is proven, meaning that there are already people in the industry making the kind of money that you want to make. Then dedicate at least a decade, at least maybe 2 or even 3 of your life to that industry. If you do that, financial independence will be inevitable in your future.
And value number 10, firmness. If you've been on social media, you hear a lot of content creators saying stand on business 10 toes deep. Now, what does that mean? It means you set boundaries not only for others, but primarily for yourself. When you set goals, that's you setting boundaries. When you have a program and how you do things, that's you setting boundaries. But first, you have to follow your own boundaries. Leadership is always by example, right? Before you expect others to do it, you have to lead by example. And I'll give you an example. I believe strongly in integrity and I believe in mutual respect. So first of all, I respect myself. I'm not going to treat myself like garbage. I watch the kind of food that I put into my body. I watch how I spend my time and how I dispense my energy. I'm careful about the people I choose to hang around. Right?
Very important.
Very, very important, like he said. And I'm doing all of this because I have love and respect for myself. Now, in doing that, I mainly attract people who share the same values. But there will be times when people might want to encroach in your personal space and they might be rude to you, right?
So in such a case, what do you do?
Well, it's on you. I mean, knowing full well what your values are, what your boundaries are, and what you're not willing to tolerate, you're going to have to be firm on such occasions, right? That's what content creators call standing on business. So if you say something, you better mean it. And if anyone challenges you on it, you stay firm. Now imagine if you say something and then you're challenged on what you said and then you switch up, the respect is gone just like that. I mean, now look, it's okay to come out and say, you know what, I was wrong about that. That's still being firm. That's still standing on business. But to switch up and say you never said it? Come on, stop it, man. You have to stay firm with the goals that you set and with who you say that you are before you expect other people to extend that respect to you. Because how you treat yourself is how other people are going to treat you. You can't expect other people to treat you better than you treat yourself. It just does not work that way. So if you can't be firm with your own decisions, with your own program, and with your own values and principles, how do you expect other people to respond to you, right? Your own masculinity is yours to protect, because if you don't protect it, how is anyone around you going to ever take you seriously? You know what the answer is? It's never going to happen.
All right, KC fam, so we've come to the end of part 2 of the Healthy Masculine Values series. And here's a recap of the 10 additional masculine values all men must embody: having an abundance mindset, being able to sacrifice, being fair, having discipline, and having love for family.
And to continue from where Coco stopped is being beautiful, having resilience, staying focused, being financially independent, and being extremely firm with your decisions.
If you missed part 1 of this series, you can click the link in the description below or wait till the end of this video to click on the video thumbnail on the left side of your screen. We covered the first set of 10 foundational masculine values in there, so make sure you check it out. But if you've already seen the first part, then that makes 20 foundational masculine values you can build your life on. Now, you don't have to master all 20 overnight, but you do have to start from somewhere. So pick one, start today, and you can build from there. Now, if you've got a brother or a friend who needs to hear this message, share this episode with them. Every man needs to know this. And if you got any value from this episode, hit the like button, drop us a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. And lastly, if you'd like to support the channel by buying us a cup of coffee, you can do that with the link in the description below. All right, my guy, that's all we've got for you today. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.